Hi everyone, my name is Edith. Welcome to HTL101. Today I'm going to sit here and introduce about Japanese whiskey. For today's video, here is the structure of today's video. First, I'm going to talk about the method that how to produce these products. And next, I will talk about the famous brand of this product. Thirdly, I will talk about the various use and the serve style of Japanese whiskey. Lastly, I will talk about how I can use the knowledge about Japanese whiskey during the industry placement time. Let's moving on. Welcome to the first part of this video. First, I'm gonna talk about some background about Japanese whiskey. Who produced this product and how they produce this product and what inspired them to produce this product. The Japanese whiskey basically is made by the Takasuru and the Torii. Torii is at that time is one of the Japanese biggest alcohol brand producer, and the Takasuru with his wife go to Scotland to learn about how to make whiskey, and then this couple went back to Japan and looking for someone to cooperate with to make their own whiskey. So they find Torii and they cooperate together to make this Japanese whiskey. So the Japanese whiskey production in Japan began around 1870, but the first commercial production is in 1924. So broadly speaking of the style of the Japanese whiskey is more similar to the Scotch whiskey instead of the other whiskey in the other region, because the producer is learning the whiskey making method in Scotland. So basically the Japanese whiskey is a combined style of Japanese making style and the Scotch making style. Hi, welcome to the second part of my video. Now I'm going to talk about the famous brand of Japanese whiskey. The first one is the Shantonei Whiskey Taki, which costs around $52. Here is the picture. And the second one is the Nikka Coffee Malt, which costs $55. And the third one is the Hakushu 18. Next one is the Ohishu Single Sherry Cask. And the next one is the Yamazaki 12. And the next one is Rochi Single Malt. Then is Hibiki 17. And next is Nikka Whiskey from the barrel. And next is the Chichibu Port Piper. And next is the Aiwa Tradition. And next is the Akashi Single Malt. Here is some famous brand of the Japanese whiskey. As you can see in this map, there is some famous Japanese whiskey produced region, which is Yochi and Hakushu, Karizawa, Mayakio, and Chichibu, and Fuji, Gatemba, and Yamazaki. As I mentioned above in the background of Japanese whiskey is basically based on the Scotch whiskey and do some advanced innovation. So the process of making Japanese whiskey is similar to making the Scotch whiskey. They are all both heavily relied on the malt barley. The malt barley is most imported from Scotland, and then after they receive the Scotch barley, they will mash and distill it twice in the pastures. And this process it depends on the distiller to incorporate or cut it skillfully or not. And if it's cut and incorporate skillfully, they will make more residual congeners. So this also a standard to identify if there are more residual congeners, there will be a higher levels of Japanese whiskey. And next, like Scotch, Japanese whiskey is wood aged, so it will put the liquor into different oaks to make different flavor. Some is in American oaks, and some is in sherry oaks, and some is in the Japanese Mazzonera oaks. This different ox makes different flavor. This different ox makes different flavors, which like orange, butter, smoky, and extra. Now I'm going to talk about the different usage of Japanese whiskey. The first one, Japanese whiskey is good for your skin. So you can put Japanese whiskey, if it's a good Japanese whiskey, you can put on your skin as a mask to gain the beauty benefits. It can lock the water in your skin, and you can also use it combined with the honey, egg, water, lemon, or milk to make a face mask. Thirdly, whiskey can also reduce the appetite and prevent overeating. Some people maybe after work or during the work and study they will feel very stressful and then they will gain overeating this habit, but it's harmful to people's body, so they can drink some whiskey to reduce their appetite in order to boost the stomach to digest the food and make sure you have a healthy diet, because the Japanese whiskey they contain the malts that can boost the digest of your body, and also their fruity and smoothie flavor can make you feel not hungry as you under the pressure. The first one is the blend whiskey. Even the blend whiskey is being incorrectly think is cheap and inferior, but in Japanese people's mind, they believe the blend whiskey make the perfect balance of two liquor, and it also have good quality and it can make very smoothie whiskey. The second one is Japanese people like to serve the whiskey with highball glass. This might be sharply different between the whiskey purist people. They prefer to drink whiskey with the old school glass, but in Japan, they will serve whiskey with soda water in a highball glass. So, in Japan, Japanese people they believe the soda water give the whiskey a very palatable flavor. Japanese whiskey information can be widely used for as a bartender, as a front house waitress, as a back of house staffs. So, as a bartender, the Japanese whiskey information can be used like if a customer order a Japanese whiskey, they will ask you what kind of Japanese whiskey they have, and where it produced and how it produced, and can you recommend me some Japanese whiskey? For the recommendation, you have to upselling from the most expensive one to the less expensive one, and also you have to recognize the customer's region, and maybe this customer is from Japan, so Japan in different region they have different whiskey, so you can recommend the whiskey from the customer's regions. Also, for the front house waiters, sometimes they have to serve the whiskey to the customer for some banquets, and when they serving, the customer also will ask them about this question, and you might leave a little bit presentation about this information. For the back of house staffs, they might use the Japanese whiskey to make some cuisines. For some innovative restaurant, they might use the Japanese whiskey to make some evidence cuisine for the different flavor, give the innovative flavor for the customers.